1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hello. I'd like to show you guys and talk to you about a Chevy 305 small block engine today and show you the components and what some of it does and the history of Chevy itself as a company. So it is nice to know a little bit about your engines on your cars. So if you were driving down the road and say your car breaks down and you're by yourself, it'd be nice to be able to pop open the hood and possibly look and see if you can figure out the issue and know what parts are what. That way you could possibly get it fixed, or once you do take it to the shop, you can tell them what's wrong. So on a Chevy 305 engine, I'm going to show you some of the components, which this here is a alternator, and what the alternator does is the battery inside your car, it's got acid inside of it, so if you're to be driving a car without an alternator, there is not getting any extra charge to it, so it probably won't last very long. The battery itself would die, so the alternator sends charge to it to keep your battery lasting a very long time. Also, right here you have this is called an exhaust manifold. This is where your exhaust hook up to on your car to get all the fumes and everything out the back of your car. Down here at the bottom, this chrome circle here is called the starter. So on the back part of your engine, you have a flywheel, which on the starter itself, it's got teeth, and it kicks that flywheel once you turn your ignition switch over, and it turns the parts of the inside of the motor, and that's what actually starts your motor itself. Also here you have a cooling fan. So this goes on your water pump, which the water pump sends water inside your motor to keep it cool. And this cooling fan, once your motor gets to a certain temperature, it has to cool down to keep it from cracking or breaking anything on the inside of your motor. So the fan will turn once it gets to a certain temperature. Right here is the carburetor, and on the carburetor it sends gas to your motor coming from your fuel tank. So this is a 4-barrel carburetor. So 2 of the barrels, it allows a certain amount of gas when you're driving at certain low speeds to keep your car running. And then on a V8 motor, the extra 2 barrels, if you were to get into it on your gas pedal, those other 2 barrels will kick in and it makes your car a lot faster. So a little bit of the history on Chevrolet. It was founded by Louis Chevrolet. He was a famous race car, or a famous bicycle racer when he was young. And you can find some of this information off the NNDB website. He began by building and repairing some of the race cars, and he watched his dad when he was younger. He didn't actually start the company, but he created a 6-cylinder motor that helped begin the Chevy Nation as we know it today. So the actual V8 engines itself was done by Ed Cole, a chief engineer at Chevrolet. And you could find some of this information off the Story of Remarkable Engines. In 1955, Chevy had a small block V8, which was a 305, was one of their first V8s they come out with. And by 1965, they came out with a 327 small block. And then in 1970, they come out with a 350 small block engine, which would be the most popular V8 engine that Chevy come out with, and that's probably the most common one, and people know actually about the 350s because they're in a lot of trucks and muscle cars today. So, some people say that Chevy also gets their actual cars, the emblem Chevy, the symbol. Some people say they come out of a newspaper. Some people say that Louis Chevrolet actually drew it up himself and come out with the emblem. So I hope by talking to you a little bit about the Chevy engines, that it would help you to know a little bit of information on what parts do what and how they work. So I appreciate you listening to the speech today, and I hope you actually learned a lot. Thank you.